my husband suggested I take this with me? A telephone. I was just going out for ice cream, but on the way back home, my car just quit. A simple trip had left me stranded. Then I remembered I had the cellular phone. They sent a mechanic within minutes. What a relief. He fixed the problem, and I was back on my way. Of course, the ice cream melted, but thanks to this, I got home safe and sound.
You're safe with New Wave Cellular. Call 644-1111 today.
Hi, and welcome back to the show. Now we're here at the home of Gary Mason, who is a professional hunting and fishing guide, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his career. Hi, Gary.
Hey, Mary Jane, it's good to have you.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here. You've got a beautiful home here. You've got a lot of ducks and decoys and duck calls and all kinds of things like that.
Got a lot of hunting stuff and
yeah.
and stuff that I guess you can kind of tell a sportsman lives here.
Yeah, you sure can. Well, tell us a little bit about your career. How'd you get started and what kind of things do you do?
Well, of course, I guide professionally for a living, and I got started back when I was real young in high school, carrying buddies, you know, hunting and fishing with buddies, and it got to where every once in a while somebody called me and say, well, I've got a friend coming into town and you've got a boat, you know, can you carry him fishing or can you carry him hunting? So I did, and back when I was about 24, 25 years old, I started guiding professionally with Steve McAdams, who's another local guide, real good friend of mine from Paris, and Steve and I got to guiding together duck and goose hunting, and then I wanted to expand that and get into the fishing part of it, and as I went on, I learned that I could only fish, you know, 2 or 3 times or 2 or 3 months a year, and I could only guide duck and goose hunting a couple of months a year. So in order to turn it into a full-time career, I had to find something else to do. Luckily, I was able to start going to South Dakota and guiding up there. I now give sporting clays lessons, which sporting clays is just like golf with a shotgun, and there's a lot of...
just like golf with a shotgun? Just like golf,
and just about that hard, too, I'll tell you. But the only difference is you're shooting at a clay target instead of a little white ball.
Yeah.
But that's how I got started. It's took a period of about 8 or 9 years for me to really be able to make this a full-time career. But now that I have, it's very rewarding. I've met some of the finest people in the nation, you know, and a lot of folks who I would have never got to have met had I not been in the career that I was in.
So in addition to guiding for regular people around here, our friends and neighbors, everybody knows around here, you also guide for some celebrities. Tell us about that. We've
had some celebrities hunt and fish with us. Steve and I have had, the last couple of years, have had the Grand Ole Opry bunch, which has included Mike Snyder, who I think y'all have just got through shooting the show with over at his home in Gleason. Bob Whitaker, who's the manager of the Grand Ole Opry, and folks like Porter Wagner and Little Jimmy Dickens and Jimmy C. Newman and Jim Ed Brown, and stars of that caliber have been down here, right here in our hometown of Big Sandy, hunting and fishing with us. And some other stars that I've guided is Dave Butts, who was a Washington Redskin football player, a really great guy and a good shot, I might add. I'm going to say that because he's about twice as big as I am, and if he was to see this, I want him to know what I think about it. And of course, folks like Porter Wagner, and I've guided Ken Herbeck from Minnesota Twins. Another gentleman that I really had a big time hunting with was a gentleman that was 87 years old by the name of Les Cuba. And Les Cuba is a real famous wildlife artist but more than a wildlife artist, he's the man that invented the Coca-Cola sign.
No.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And
he made the logo for the
He made the logo at 18 years old back in the early 1920s. They paid him $500 for the logo, and he said he thought he was rich. But he traveled around painting Coca-Cola signs on stores and barns and stuff, and didn't like the old block lettering they was using, so he decided to do it in script. And sure enough, the big wigs of Coca-Cola liked it and hired him to paint his script on it. So.
And he's 87 years old?
Yeah, he was 87 years old when he hunted with me. And so that was a highlight. He was a real nice guy. But I've met some real interesting people, you know, that weren't celebrities. You know, you meet a lot of people that, I know there's one gentleman that that we guide hunting that is I guess he runs a funeral home, and his name is Clyde.
Clyde.
And Clyde will give you his card, and it says, "Take a last ride with Clyde." And on the bottom of the card it says, "We'll be the last person to let you down."
Oh no!
So I've met some real interesting characters.
Oh gosh, it sounds like it. Do you have any favorite of the hunting and fishing and everything? Is there anything that you really prefer to do?
You know, a lot of people ask me that, and I guess you go from season to season, you know, and once, you know, our duck season just ended, so I'm glad that it's over, you know, that duck season's over, even though I enjoy it immensely. Now I'm ready to get into the fishing season, which is just starting.
Yeah.
And by moving from season to season, you really never get real tired of any one thing. My job changes so much, and I'm fixing to start traveling to boat shows and doing seminars and stuff for the next 2 or 3 weeks, you know, here and there. My job changes so much that I never have time to get tired of it.
And you do travel a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I have to in order to maintain my career, because I have to. There's a lot of work I can do here at home, but also there's voids that I have to fill when things are not in season here at home.
Right.
And I do that by traveling to other parts of the country.
Well, tell us about your seminars that you do.
Well, I do both duck and goose calling seminars, and I do fishing seminars.
That's why you got so many duck
calls
calls
playing
here.
around.
He's got a big collection of duck calls here.
I've been very fortunate that a lot of the duck call manufacturers all live close to us. You know, a lot of the best ones, like Mike McLemore and Harold Knight and Glenn Scobie, and a lot of those guys have give me calls throughout the years, and so I've got a nice little collection started. It's not worth anything much to anybody else, but it's worth a lot to me. We started out, you know, we just ended up duck hunting, and now we're going to go into fishing, and so there's a lot of boat and travel shows going on. And I travel to those boat and travel shows like Indianapolis and Louisville and St. Louis and those type shows, and do fishing seminars. And basically what I do my seminars on are bluegill and red ear sun fishing, or pan fishing. There's a lot of folks out there like Bill Dance and Roland Martin, those kind of guys that do it on bass fishing. And then of course Steve McAdams is real popular with the crappie fishing. He does a lot of seminars on crappie fishing around the nation. And I just kind of felt like that there was, you know, everybody likes to bluegill fish. And Kentucky Lake is just full of good bluegill. I'll start out in 1st of May and go all the way through the middle of June and not do anything else but bluegill fish every day.
Good long season.
Good long season, and anybody that likes to wet a hook likes to see that cork go under.
Yeah.
So.
Well, tell us about sponsorship for these things.
I've been real lucky. Over the past few years, I've picked up some national sponsors. They're starting to, a lot of the national sponsors are starting to believe that guides can help them out, because a lot of tournament fishermen, when they get through fishing at the end of the day, they don't want folks to know what they're using, because that's their livelihood. You know,
Right.
If I was a bass tournament fisherman and I placed pretty high in a tournament, some guy walks up to me and asks me what lure I'm using, I'm not going to tell him.
Why,
Because I might need to use that lure on the next lake, you know, and I don't want to compete with that. But as a professional guide, whatever I'm using to catch fish with, that's what my customers use, because
that's your job,
that's my
to help
job.
them catch.
Right. So a lot of these national sponsors are picking up on that, and I've picked up over the last few years Motor Guide and Zebco, Quantum, which are all Brunswick Corporation products, Johnson Outboards, Champion Boats, and Gripper Baits, and ECS Anchor Company. All these are national sponsors, and for just a local boy that started out, you know, growing up right here, it's really been good for me to pick up these national sponsors. Also have some local sponsors like Tennessee Trolling Motor. Jimmy Scarborough there has been good to me, and Hadacall Grocery has been good to me here locally, and Paris Landing State Park. Those folks have all been real good to me over the last few years.
Where do you work out of here?
Basically, I work out of my home. I guided out of Buchanan Resort and Paris Landing State Park. And then, of course, our waterfowl hunting is done through Steve McAdams, and Steve does all the bookings. But basically, I guess if I've got a home base, it's right around the Paris Landing Buchanan Resort area where I fish out of. and then of course then traveling, you know, to different parts of the country when I hunt pheasants and stuff.
Okay. Well, tell us about the crappie-thon.
The crappie-thon is something that's been going on at this lake for several years, and
That's a pretty big deal, isn't it?
it is a big deal. They asked me to become the tournament director for crappie-thon back last year. They didn't have a director on this lake, on the southern part of it. On the northern part of it, the Kentucky section, crappie-thon has been a big thing for many, many years. The last few years, it's kind of dwindled in Tennessee a little bit. And to the sportsmen, you know, we all kind of fussed about crappie-thon being coming to our lake because it made a lot of other fishermen get out on the lake earlier. You know, when you're talking about starting to fish around March 15th, 16th,
Yeah.
you know, when the crappie-thon starts, most people would wait until the end of March or 1st of April to start crappie fishing. Now they're buying crappie-thon badges and going earlier. Well, we all had to compete with that and made us a little jealous, you know, seeing all those boats on the lake. But it is a good thing for our local merchants. I know Dale Barker up at Haddicalls has been in the crappie-thon a long time, and several of our other merchants, like Kirk's Trading Post down at the lake and Lakeview. And what I think helps more than anything is it gets the fishermen out earlier in the year. And it gets them out there on the lake, which they got to eat breakfast somewhere, and they got to buy gas somewhere, and they've got to buy, you know, bait somewhere. So it gets the people in the stores earlier. And after I took over the directorship of the crappie-thon here on the southern end of Tennessee, they agreed to having a major tournament here at Paris Landing. And so this year we will have a major tournament at Paris Landing, and we need about 135 boats, and it only costs $50 a boat. Doesn't matter how many people you have in the boat.
Oh.
And someone's going to walk away with a brand new Ranger aluminum boat with a new motor and trolling motor on it, just for that $50.
Wow. So that's the first prize.
That is the prize that we're going to draw that.
Oh.
Just out of a hat. Everybody that enters got a chance, whether you catch a fish or not.
Well, that sounds pretty good. How about the top fish catcher? How does that work?
What's going to happen is the top fish catcher will wind up winning prizes and money, and then also the chance to go to the Classic, which is going to be held in Chattanooga in June. And once they go to the Classic, they have the opportunity to win a lot of money, just like the Bassmasters Classic. This crappie-thon Classic it's got a lot of money prizes and stuff like that for them to win.
Well, that
I think
sounds
Steve
nice.
McAdams and Jim Perry, two local boys, have been down there, and Brent Moody from down around Trenton, and some of them boys have been to the Classic 2 or 3 times. So we've got some local people that are good fishermen, you know, that are going to some of these national things.
Okay, well, that sounds great. Gary, thank you so much for being with us. You have an exciting career, and I know one that a lot of people would like to have a part of. I'm sure a lot of men are envious of you, and probably a lot of women too. There's a lot of women nowadays. We're mainly focusing here on men, but there are a lot of women that's into fishing and hunting these days too, aren't there?
And you know, I tell people, especially the ladies, not to let this man's world thing hold them back. You know, there's so many opportunities out there in the outdoors for women, you know, and for ladies, and what be it fishing, bow hunting, you know, whatever a lady wants to do, there's something out there for her too. And the thing about it is a lot of stuff that the men are doing, the ladies can do, that there's not many ladies doing it, and right now is the time to get in it, you know.
Like what, for instance?
Well, like bow hunting, bow shooting, you know, there's some real good local people around. There's fishing, the fishing industry, probably the percentage of women that are fishing tournaments, you know, right now is very slim. And I don't know of any women that are fishing crappie tournaments, you know, on a national basis. And the opportunities are there. I mean, women are just as good a fishermen and probably have more patience than men do. But I know men run all over the lake a lot of times when they should be sitting still.
Okay. Well, if anyone's interested in contacting you about having you help them out with their hunting or fishing, guiding them or whatever, who do they need to call? And
they can call here at my home at area code 901-593-5429. They can reach me through Paris Landing State Park, which is 642-4311. and then if they can't get me anywhere else, they can call How to Call Grocery. I might be sitting up there drinking a Coke.
They just have to kind of call around and hunt you down, huh?
Well, they can leave
an answer machine?
I have
got
an answer machine, yeah, I sure do. And they can leave a message on my answer machine, and I'll be glad to return their call.
Okay.
So I get a lot of buddies that call me up, you know, and want to leave messages on my answer machine that I don't return their calls. But
well, I imagine you're so busy, it's hard probably for them to catch you at home.
It really is.
Or really anywhere, so.
I stay busier than I really anticipated being, especially the last 2 years. But, you know, you've got to make hay when the sun's shining, and there may come a time when I'm not busy. So as long as the economy is up and everybody's fishing and hunting, though, it's really great. A couple of things that I would like to say, especially to the younger folks out there, and I talk to a lot of young kids, if you want to get in the field of the outdoors, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. I had a lot of people tell me that I couldn't become a professional guide and that I couldn't be popular and that I couldn't be successful at it. And to those folks that said that, now they call me up and tell me, well, I seen you in a magazine, or I seen you in the newspaper, I seen you here, and I appreciate that. But to a younger person that would like to get in the outdoors field, you know, stay in school, make good grades, stay away from drugs and alcohol, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something, because your only limitations are yourself, not someone else. So, but we appreciate all the kids watching us and wanting to learn stuff.
Okay. Well, on that note, we're going to have to go. I think you've got an important appointment that we don't want you to miss, so we're going to have to get out of here so you can get gone. But thank you for being with us this week. And would you come back and be with us again sometime?
I'd love to, anytime.
Okay, great.
I appreciate y'all coming, and you're welcome to have you here in my home anytime.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
And stay with us. We'll have more Friends and Company right after this.
Special Moments Video Production Service at 208 North Brewer can now transfer your 8mm and Super 8 film, photos and slides to video for easy viewing and sharing with friends and loved ones. Our office hours are 10 to 5 Monday through Friday and by appointment on Saturdays. Call Special Moments at 644-9303 for more information. At Budget TV and VCR Service, we have 2 full-time factory-trained technicians to service all brands of TVs and VCRs, as well as stereos, microwaves, and camcorders. We are your authorized warranty station for RCA, GE, and Zenith TVs, VCRs, and projection TVs. We have all of the latest testing equipment and stock a full line of TV and VCR replacement parts. That's Budget TV and VCR Service, open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday and 9 to 1 on Saturday, located at 130 East Washington Street in downtown Paris.
Well, mark your calendars and tell your friends, because Mike Snyder is going to be on Friends and Company February 15th and 18th, right here on Paris Cablevision Local Channel 3.
Hi, and welcome back to the show. Now we're out here at Johnson Park, where with us is a very special guest. His name is Wallace Guthrie. He formerly played on the old Paris Eagles and later the Giants team, and we're very honored to have him with us on this week's show. Also with us is George Bass, who's going to kind of help us fill in some of the gaps of the story of Mr. Guthrie. Mr. Guthrie, thank you, first of all, for being with us on this week's show.
Pleasure, it's mine.
Tell us a little bit about your baseball career. About what year was it when this all got going?
Well, first, in 1952, I was playing down here at the Paris Giants, and my uncle was the manager at that time, Clarence Guthrie.
And the Paris Giants' home place was here at Johnson Park, right?
And he got in touch with Dr. Martin of Memphis Red Sox. That's a Negro American League team, too. So he told me, he said, go down there and give it a try, so you might can make a living off of it. So I got on the train that night, went to Memphis. Dr. Martin put me on the mound that night. So I pitched, I think, about 3 or 4 innings, no hitter, against the Indianapolis Clowns. That's another team.
Yeah. Well, let's back up just a little bit here. About what year was it when all this happened?
1953, when I signed a contract with Birmingham Barons. 1953, I think it was in in March 3rd, 1953.
Well, I understand you was a pretty doggone good pitcher.
Well,
A lefty, I think, right?
left-handed, I think I was pretty good.
Well, you must have been to have got as
Yeah.
far as you got with it.
Yeah, I just made some mistakes.
Yeah.
I was going on. I played with some of the guys that's up there in the major league. Of course, they is retired now and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
I had it going.
Well, give us some names. Who all did you play with?
Oh, I played with Joe Black. He played with the Dodgers. Junior Gillum. He played with the Dodgers. With Baumstorm with Roy Campanella. That would be after the season over. He took out some of the best players and we'd go from city to city Baumstorming.
Oh.
So, yes, it was very nice.
Well, that sounds exciting.
And Willie Mays, he played with the Birmingham Bears. After he went to the Dodgers, I went to the Birmingham Barons.
Yeah. So how long were you with the Birmingham Barons?
Oh, about a year.
About a year. Then what happened?
Well,
Tell us that story.
I let my team down. We would be playing and traveling from city to city. And I was kind of in love, with my wife. So we finally married. And I would try to catch a bus to come to Paris to see what she's doing. And then my team would be leaving, going to Kansas City or New Orleans somewhere.
Yeah. So your mind was
I just let
in
them
Paris.
down. My mind was in Paris. That's all. Just made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You probably got a pretty good wife out of the deal, didn't you?
Yes. We married 37 years.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So she was the reason you was coming back and forth?
She's the reason I missed the fortune.
Now, what happened with the coach? What was it he said to you?
He said, well, Wallace said, you love your wife, doesn't you love the team? I said, well, I don't know about that. I said, I love my wife and I love the team. I said, I got to go home and see what she's doing. So he said, well, by the end of the season, then he said, well, I'm going to let you go home and stay a while, see how you like that. So I never heard nothing else from her.
Oh, man. And you probably would have had a shot to have really gone on to the really big time.
I had it made. I was going on. Because they didn't have a left-hand pitch until they got me.
And you could throw a really fast ball.
Oh, I could brush it up there.
Yeah. Well, George, tell us some stories about him.
Well,
what's your fondest memories of the team? Now, you played with him when you were both on the Paris Giants team, right?
Yeah. This was way after his tenure in the Negro American League that we had a local team here. We continued, we first started out, the team I was on was the Paris All-Stars. We were a young baseball team that followed Mr. Willie Rowe. Was the manager. He started us out. And Wallace, at that time, he was playing with the Paris Giants. And so that team kind of folded, and he came over and started playing with the Paris Giants. And I guess my fondest memory is that one game that we were playing in Dresden. We were playing Martin, Tennessee in Dresden. And Wallace was pitching that day. And, of course, they always thought he balked whenever he made his move to first base. And I was playing first base that day, and so the fella that was umpiring, he was from Martin. So the guy got on base, and so he told this fella, don't get off the base now, so he'll get you off. He'll pick you off. And so he said, I got it. And so the guy, Wallace, he went into his wind-up, and so we had kind of a signal. I was playing first base. He's pitching. He would do like this, and I'd do like that. And so he went into a stretch, and the guy just kind of leaned and raised his foot up off the base, and I had the ball on him.
Oh,
he was out. So this
quick
guy
as
said,
that.
I told you not to even move off the base. So I think that was probably one of the most fondest memories I had of us playing.
Boy, I wish we had that on video.
Yes, I was intending that the field hadn't been so wet today to kind of get him to demonstrate
Yeah.
that for you, but maybe
Recreate
we can do it
it.
at a later time.
Yeah, maybe so.
We played some of those teams here. We played Indianapolis Clowns.
Oh, yeah?
They're the Negro American League. Memphis Red Sox.
Now, the Negro American League, that was a professional league, right?
Yeah, they've been here.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Yeah, I never will forget that there was a team came here. They called themselves the Old Hickory All-Stars. They came in on a big Greyhound bus, and they beat us 26-0. I was so glad when that game was over. And but we found out later on it was the Birmingham Black Bears.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Barnstorming. And so then the next year, they came back, same bus and everything. We beat them a doubleheader.
Yeah. Right down here.
That's a sweet victory, wasn't it?
And we also, the Indianapolis Clowns, we played them here. I think they were here twice. And we beat the Memphis Red Sox 5-4 down here. So
played St. Louis here.
Played the St. Louis Stars. We played them a 11-game series, and I think they beat us one time. So we played all up in Indiana and Alabama. So had some good talent around.
And you traveled pretty good distances there, didn't you? Yeah. Well, that sounds really exciting. I know y'all enjoy sitting around and reflecting back on those days.
Definitely. And I think that, you know, Wallace, I think it's an honor to have someone, especially from Passion Henry County, who has been a part of the history of our national pastime, and who played with some of the greatest baseball players who have played in Major. And I think that's quite an honor.
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, but I just too weak.
Well, you was in love. That's what that was all about.
I was in love, and just messed me up. I tell her sometimes now, she's in the nursing home.
Oh.
I tell her sometimes, I said, Lurleen, I said, well, it hadn't been for you, I'd been a millionaire right now. Of course, I'd done been retired. She said, well, you wouldn't wanted me then if you had all that money.
Oh, goodness, what a good story. That's great.
But I think that Passion Henry County has a rich history of baseball talent. Some fellas who could have gone on and played Major League Baseball today compared to some that I see today. I don't think that any of them were probably as good as the talent we had here, judging from them today. And there have been a lot of talent from here who had that opportunity. I missed the opportunity that a fellow by the name of Hillis Lane, they Oakland Athletics, and it was Kansas City Athletics then. And, he came back looking for me to sign me up. And,
oh, no.
So I don't think that at that time I was having the same problem that Wallace. He just couldn't find me.
Oh, no.
And I think he went on to Texas that same day and signed up 12 balls.
So then you found out about it later. Oh.
You know, we've had some good talent here who have, that Major League scouts have shown an interest in.
Well, give us some names of some people that's still around here in Paris that you can think of that you played with.
Well, we go back, well, I think that Wallace can probably tell you as far as going back during his time, and I can kind of fill you in during my time.
Okay.
James Gibson.
That's Becky.
Becky Gibson. Mac Porter. LaFonza Fitzgerald. Boyce Rowe.
What about Moselle?
Moselle Dawson. Willie Rye.
He's dead, man.
Yeah, he's dead now. Them 5 of us living now that played ball on that team now.
Who are those?
That's myself, Becky Gibson, Mac Porter, William Coates, and Moselle Dawson. 5 of us living there. There's about 18 or 20 of us on that team, man.
Wow.
Just 5 of us living now. The rest of them dead.
Y'all ever get together and have reunions or anything?
Well, we used to. We used to have something, I think, once a year. We'd have to socialize and get together. It would be for all former past Giants baseball players, but that ceased some years ago.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have moved away and died out.
Notice the cap you've got on there. Was that your colors?
No, this was, well, it's just part of our colors, because our colors were after the San Francisco Giants. So this is part of
Oh, okay. Is that gold or orange?
It's orange and black.
Orange and black. Yeah.
Our colors were orange, black, and gray.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were the Giants, but when we were All-Stars, they were red and white. So.
Yeah. Well, how about your uniform? You still got your uniform?
No, they wouldn't let me have it.
They wouldn't let you have it?
No, couldn't.
Oh.
They wouldn't let me have it.
Well, how much did you get paid in those days?
I got paid $250 a month plus $11 a day for food and your cleaner bill.
Uh-huh.
Like you don't have your cleaner, your suit cleaner, something like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, that wasn't too bad, I guess.
No, it wasn't too bad. Not back in them days.
Yeah.
I could eat with 35 cents a day.
Oh, well, that was pretty good then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You could save up your daily allowance there.
But, that little $250 a month went a long ways back in then.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he turned me loose, he gave me Sue Bridgeport. That was our president. He was the owner too, and the president. He gave me $1,100.
Wow.
For that night when I come home, when he sent me home.
Oh. Yeah, let's get that right.
Yeah, when he sent me home, it was $1,100. Lord, that was a lot of money back in them days.
$1,100. That was your what? Severance pay for
Yes.
buying you off on the contract?
That's right.
Huh? Yeah. Well, sounds like that was some glory days back
yes,
then.
It was. I really enjoyed it. I just hard-headed and wouldn't listen. Everybody in Paris tried to talk to me and tell me that I just hard-headed and wouldn't listen.
Well, you know, you had an opportunity and you had some time there that you probably had a big time that you've experienced a lot that most folks don't ever get a chance to experience. So.
I sure have.
Yeah.
When I look at them now, and them guys playing ball now, they making all that big money. They can throw in that ball no harder and had more stuff on it than I did. I had the same thing and maybe a little more.
Yeah. Well, listen, we really appreciate both of you fellows being with us today. And could you come back and talk to us about this again sometime? We'll get a little more in depth on it a little later on.
Well, I think I'll probably
maybe you can get some pictures together and stuff. How about that? You got any pictures?
Yes.
Good.
I intend to bring a lot of information. I think we're going to be continuing this during Black History Month, and I've got a lot of other information I'll be sharing and pictures and all. Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah, my supervisor out there at Emerson, he's got a whole book of those pictures.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can get
that. That'd be great. Yeah, well, let's get together and talk about this again.
All of us on the bus and standing outside the bus and everything.
Yeah. Huh.
And that Satchel Paige deal, that's a place it's go through West Memphis, Arkansas, up towards Missouri, it's Paris, Illinois. That's when I met Satchel Paige. He was playing that night. I hit a home run on him.
Oh.
Yeah, sure did.
Huh, so you wasn't a bad hitter either, huh?
That was in 1953. Oh, I hit pretty good.
Yeah.
George hit that ball too.
Well, my problem with that, I just couldn't stay in on the curveball.
Yeah.
They told me, you know, back then, especially if you were a shortstop or a second baseman, you know, they didn't expect you to hit that well. You know, you're just a good defensive ball player. And so they said, well, we're not going to worry about that too much because when they scouted me, they noticed that I just couldn't stay in there on the curve. Well, I was pretty good fastball.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure was.
Well, thanks again for being with us. And you stay with us. We'll have more Friends and Company coming up right after this.
Hi, I'm Kid Umbach. You may know me as your local PGA golf professional. You know, advertising for your business is a lot like golf. You only get out of it what you put in it. But your aim can be better than mine by targeting your audience on CNN, ESPN, TNN, and TNT. So give me a call today, and we'll work on a swing that best suits your business.
This manager is helping his biggest client with an order that has to be out today. Smart move. This real estate agent has just found a dream home for the Baileys. Smart move. This man is saving money by making design changes on the job. Smart move. This grandmother doesn't miss a call from any of her grandchildren. Smart move.
Don't miss out on anything. Make a smart move with New Wave Cellular. 2 locations to serve you, 1047 Mineral Wells in Paris and 215 Hawks in Martin.
Hello, folks. This is Mike Snyder, and you're watching Friends and Company right here on Channel 3.
You better get a calculator for count his cookies.
Oh, well, that's the reason why I let somebody else take care of it. They have a little bit more experience.
You can have anything you want in your milk as long as it isn't alcohol. Oh, okay. I spilled the I'm sorry.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Did you want water?
Yes, please.
See where I dropped paper towels behind me? Just a minute.
Wait, it's down. 30 seconds. One more bite past this.
No. Well, don't do it yet.
You're just getting in position right now. I never did here. We're going 3.
You ready, Gabe's gonna eat. And we have several contestants who are well qualified, I might add. And as I call out the contestants' names, I want you to raise your hand so they'll know who you are. A lot of us may know each other, but there may be 1 or 2 that don't know you. The 95 top cookie cruncher, Mary Webb, a salesman at Pepper's, crunched 43 cookies last year for the title. Now, I'm not sure how many are in a box, but I think that's over 2 boxes of cookies. You may have to top 2 boxes to beat him. Buchanan's school PE teacher, Lance Winders, recipient of last year's Best Cheerleading Team Award, and is an active volunteer in Girl Scouting. He's probably like a lot of husbands get roped into it. He's probably driven for Girl Scouts or done different activities with them. I think Lance has a sister or sister-in-law that is a part of Girl Scouting. Okay, Lee Winders, a tool designer for Tecumseh, is a newcomer to Cookie Crunch, but no stranger to Girl Scouts. His wife is the District 2 Membership Director, Donna, and daughters Crystal is a cadet and Megan is a brownie. A first-timer to the Cookie Crunch, Frida Reddick, an accounting assistant librarian at the Brain Cooking Library, and a Girl Scout cookie fan. And Frida's probably like me and has eaten quite a few Girl Scout cookies over the years. John DeLuca is the winner of the first Cookie Crunch, and he's the commander of the AMVETS Post 45. Ron Means is pastor of Henry Church of Christ. He's entering unknown territory, as this is also his first Cookie Crunch. His daughter Mary is a Brownie Girl Scout, and Ron, that's at least 2 boxes of cookies to win. Dr. Michael Bowley, a veterinarian at Mineral Wells Animal Clinic, where his eating habits are well known. 2 boxes, Dr. Bowley, remember that. Mary Ann Cookie Monster Hinton is hostess and producer of Friends and Company on Cable Channel 3. And Mary Ann, I understand, has the elastic spandex waistband. And let's see, I don't see, okay, Carl Holder is supposed to be here. Maybe he'll be doing this, but at the moment he's not here. Gary Pinson is the owner of Gary's Discount. He gets all the cookies he needs from daughter Tiffany. Tiffany's a brownie. And he can eat 2 boxes of cookies, I bet. I don't know what his favorite kind is, though. That's the only thing. And finally, we have Paris Fire Department's finest cookie cruncher, Dave Harrison, who's also a Boy Scout leader. No, we're going to keep it, right?
We missed one.
Okay, and we also have Ben Ainsley. He's a manager of Lake Haven, and he is new to this game as well, and we'd like to remind him that 2 boxes of cookies at least, and that should be, used start at 2 boxes with last year's top credit. Okay, we have cookie counters assisting our contestants. Sheila Hancock, Betsy Thompson, Jenna Francisco, Sarah Hancock, Rhonda Gaskins, Petra Gee, is that G? G, okay, Crystal Winders, Linda Clark, Lisa Lindsay, Donna Williams. You go down! And Gil Clark. The cookie assistants are Donna Winders and Gay Francisco, and your hostess is Linda Goddard. The official timekeeper for the event is Arthur Lodge. Never been. Okay, there's several of you that haven't been here for cookies. All cookies on the plate have to be eaten before they can eat another plate of cookies. You can't just pick your favorite box and say, I like Thin Mints, and go with it. You have to have one of each kind. You didn't know what you were getting into.
Did you lay down the ground rules? Did you lay down the ground rules? No cookies left in the glasses. They've got to go in the mouth. No putting cookies on somebody else's plate.
And please don't hide the cookies behind your ears or in your pockets. Okay, I have a correction. It is a 3-minute cookie program.
Just get a plate. We'll refill them.
Okay, our contestants, are we ready to go? Yeah. Okay, everybody's ready? Okay, if our official timekeeper's ready.
I'm ready, ma'am.
Okay, on your mark, get set, crunch. She tries, not one
I'm going to play.
You ate one plate?
says Champion Tire Supplies World, and his says my brother is. We had to switch them.
Best cookie technique. I guess I'd have to say a whole lot of prayer.
Okay, that works. Okay, what about yours?
2 hands.
2 hands. For next year's potential contestant, what would you tell them?
Dunk them first.
Dunk them. Marianne, I know you have something to say.
Yeah, I like with keeping this motion going here. You know? Yeah.
And Gary?
Just go along for the ride.
I forgot to check how many plates of cookies you had. And I know you put away a few.
Was you counting? That's
I
all
can
I
see you all the way to the other end of the room.
Well, I would say for next year that you need to get these jaw muscles in shape. And chew plenty of gum between now and next year.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That one got sore with my mouth.
Several times. And you've got a collection of techniques for this.
Oh, I just keep on going, that's all.
Okay, and this was your first time too. What would you do different next year?
Probably not eat for a week.
And what about you?
Well, I'm disappointed my brother beat me, but
You've done this before.
that's right. The only
Are
thing
you
I
giving away your secrets?
No, I just dogged my brother. That's the main thing.
And we all want to know if you put away 2 boxes of cookies.
Would shorten the time down to 3 minutes.
Makes it harder to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Cheerleader. Should I give you numbers?
Sharing with you all my cheerleaders.
We have our official totals from our official cookie counters. And we're going to start with, well, I'll just go with I'll give the numbers from bottom to top. Okay? Freda Reddick had 11 cookies officially. Sanders had 12 cookies. And let's see, John DeLuca had 14 cookies. Lance had 15 cookies. And 16 cookies, Marianne. You did put away a few. You had 20 cookies. Okay, and then we had one with Gary Pinson had 25 cookies. Yeah. Foley had 24 cookies. Barry Webb had 27 cookies. Cookie cruncher, and I know that this is well over at least a box of most of those cookies. Ben Ainsley had 34 cookies. His Lance Winters.
Thank you, lady.
On behalf of the Real Foot Council Girl Scouts, this goes to you,
Okay.
and your name will get engraved on
Well,
those.
thank you.
Even did it worth my time.
Not good enough. I'll be back.